What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here with our Dead in Hip Hop solo album review, and today I'm reviewing the two newest albums from Ceschi, entitled Sad Fat Luck, as well as Soleil. So I was supposed to do a collab review of Sad Fat Luck a while ago, but me and the person's times never really matched up, and before I knew it, it got to a point where I was reviewing it way too late for it to actually make sense, because I knew Ceschi was doing 3 albums this year, and I knew that Soleil was going to be coming out fairly shortly after, so I decided to just wait. Then I planned on doing a review of just Soleil, but it didn't feel right without talking about Sad Fat Luck first, so I decided, fuck it, it's my channel, I can do what I want, so I'm reviewing both albums. And yeah, and because I'm doing 2 albums here for the first time ever really on my channel, I can't talk about every single song, so don't get mad at me, but of course feel free when we're done to drop some comments down there in the comment section and let me know which songs that you wished I'd talked about. Let me know what your favorite songs are. But yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna talk about Sad Fat Luck first, and it starts off with a somber song called Lost Touch, which has these great synth swells that lay a great backdrop for Ceschi discussing the culture we have as Americans, where we live our lives working and slaving and killing ourselves for the betterment of somebody else, for them to get rich. They may say make lemonade, but it's hard when your boss won't piss on the flames that engulf you, let alone give a nickel and change for your grave when the job's through. It's followed by the chorus, which is obviously a sarcastic kind of tongue-in-cheek mantra. Everything's okay, long as you live, long as you work, long as you listen, long as you pray. The next song I want to talk about is the title track, Sad Fat Luck. This is one of my favorite songs on this album. I think the beat is gorgeous, it's very big, it's almost epic sounding, easily one of my favorite beats on this. Factor Chandelier is definitely showing how detailed and nuanced he can be, and this song has some of my favorite lyrics on the entire album. Another back is stabbed, back-to-back deaths and casual sex, acting happy while actually depressed. Paint that clown face on for the audience, they'll sing along to songs about your illness. I feel like this sentiment definitely describes our attitudes towards many artists. All we care about is how the artist is making us feel, you know, and if that means listening with glee as they describe the darkest times in their lives to us in detail, and us deriving some sort of purpose from that in relation to our own lives, then so be it. I can't tell if that's a testament to how fucked up we are as people, or if it's a testament to just how much artists mean to us, even if we don't actually realize it. Take It All Back is another of my favorite songs, and it starts off with the line, "On the road again," that was a reference to Cormac McCarthy. This is obviously a throwback to the song Forever 33 off Broken Bone Ballads, where he says, "On the road again," here's an obligatory reference to Kerouac. It's interesting to me that with the first reference to Jack Kerouac's On the Road, you know, that book is more of a kind of free-spirited book about basically his travels on the road and the different characters he meets, whereas the recent reference to Cormac McCarthy's The Road, this book is a much darker story of a post-apocalyptic world where a father is struggling to get his son to a safe area in the world that's almost devoid of life. And I wonder if this reference was put here for a specific reason, to sort of be a commentary on Ceschi's attitude towards life as it is now. This is a perfect lead-in to the song given the production that's rather dark and the hard drums and the synth sounds. But after the first verse, the song has a total switch in tone that's really unexpected but really dope. The instrumental here is a bit more upbeat, and Ceschi sings, "Was a straight-edge youth with broken noses, watching friends throw away youth through overdoses." It's lines like these that have always made me gravitate towards Ceschi. He sings about shit that directly relates to my life. When I was straight edge, I watched a lot of my friends get fucked up on drugs and saw a few of them die from overdoses. And it's a weird dichotomy when you think about the paths that we take versus the ones closest to us take. And after this part, it moves into what could be described as kind of like a folky punk part that works really well here, and after that it moves back to a part with the same beat as the first part of the song, and I don't know, this is just a really ambitious song to me that comes together really well considering the parts are so dissimilar. The next song I want to talk about is Say No More, which is another of my favorite songs. A really nice beat with acoustic guitars, some strings, and an absolutely beautiful chorus that will easily get stuck in your head. Electrocardiographs is a great song with a really sparse beat, and Ceschi sounds like he's sitting you down on some stream of consciousness shit and describing to you some of the darkest points of his life. You know, especially when he's describing a time where racist children treated him a certain way due to his racial makeup and his appearance. Relating this to thinking about how people who voted for Trump kind of rationalize this. It's a great song with a really touching message that sounds perfect over this instrumental. Middle Earth comes out of nowhere with this kind of really bubbly feeling made up of the sounds of a ukulele and some upbeat drums. Again, Factor showing off his diversity here. And this song has one of the few features on this album, which is Samus, who I'm a big fan of. And her verse here was really fun. It's relatable, where she's talking about being in school and having to lie to your teacher about what you want to be when you grow up. Saying you want to be an artist is rarely the answer that your teacher is looking for. And even though I didn't end up in the arts, that was always an answer that I gave throughout my youth, and it was always met with some weird look of kind of worry and disappointment. But Ceschi and Samus are a perfect pair on this song. It's interesting that there's a song on here called Soleil, which is the name of the next album, but this might be the saddest song on Sad Fat Luck. A melancholic beat with pianos and what sounds like maybe an accordion. The final verse on the song is a tribute to a lot of the friends that Ceschi lost recently. If you've ever lost a friend, be prepared to shed a tear listening to this. Hits me hard every time, just like Bro Him by Pennywise does. Take what you want from that. The only other feature here is Astronautilus on the song Any War, which has a more standard hip-hop beat with harder drums and some horns, and it seems to be a sort of tribute to those fighting against fascism and all forms of bigotry. And Astronautilus' verse is great. I love how he mentioned the humor of seeing Richard Spencer get punched in the face, you know, because I definitely found that shit hilarious too. The album ends with Bona Drag Tape, a sort of reference to Morrissey, Bona Drag being my favorite Morrissey release, but the song isn't actually about Morrissey. It's more of a love letter to a girlfriend of Ceschi, surrounded by references to other moments in his life, some good, some bad, but all meaningful, and all leading back to this line: just promise that you'll love me like my Bona Drag Tape. I will always love you like my Bona Drag Tape. Overall, this is a great album full of a lot of dope and diverse production, an album with a lot of variety and range. No two songs are the same. There's a wealth of rapping and singing, a wide variety of flows, and it seems to be an album simply about getting older, you know, and a man coming to grips with that. Now let's move into the next record, Soleil. So some might wonder why Ceschi would drop two albums back to back so close together, and some might wonder how much they would differ. Well, that latter thought is thrown out the window the moment the opening track, Nonchalant, starts. It's a much more traditional hip-hop sounding beat than you would typically find Factor Chandelier composing with Ceschi, and Ceschi comes in immediately flowing really well over this beat, and there's definitely a real feeling of intensity here. And this is one of my favorite lines. Past the point of thinking art is priceless, art is dog shit on the wall, art is magnifying vices, I'll still fight for it. Basically a statement on how art can really be anything, from the most minuscule and banal of things to the most meaningful, and how art is not always a positive reflection on life, it's just a reflection of what is. And talking about fighting for art, even if it magnifies vices, is something that I find to be really, really important. Frank False's Eulogy is an incredible song. I love the way the instruments wrap around his words to make it almost feel like you're really at a eulogy. You know, the tambourine bells, the trumpet, the melodica, which I was reading was done by Andy the Doorbum, whose music I adore. It all comes together really, really well, and that chorus is just gorgeous, especially at the end when the music drops out and it's just Ceschi's voice and the trumpet. Incesticide. Holy shit. This song is so fucking good. The beat hits you in the face the second it starts, and it features some of my favorite people alongside Ceschi here. Open Mike Eagle gives an incredible performance as always, and this line hits really hard for some reason. I've seen the greatest of minds violently torn apart silently. POS's verse was also great. Way too many yays, not nearly enough Ian McKay's. Brazen in they fuck shit appearing and ass is A-okay. Okay? Of course, any reference to Ian McKay, whatever, is gonna make me happy, but this one in particular was very poignant. Henry Osborne is always so good with twisting words and drawing references to other shit. God is one of us, no ands, buts, or ifs. Modest were the mouses I lived with. I don't even like Modest Mouse, but I thought that was a really clever twist. And Ceschi's verse was dope, of course. Living the dream. Goddamn, I'll be hanging any minute if I can't stand. The venom of capitalism entering my veins. Feel free to burn another stack of money in front of my face. The only thing I'll say about the song Britney is I hated Ceschi for about 2 weeks for getting that fucking song stuck in my head. But I like it. Christ on a Cross is a great song referencing how the story of Jesus has been mishandled and misdirected into being a way to control people as opposed to inspire them. The way it's an immediate callback to Say No More from the previous record was really, really cool. And ending it with the voice of the daughter of Scotty 6-0, who passed away last year, was really great. Yoni's Electrocardiographs is a great sort of remix of Electrocardiographs from the last album that Yoni Wolf from the band Y did. I think the story of how Scotty 6-0 wanted Ceschi and Yoni to work together and it finally happens after his passing is touching and gives a special meaning to the mentions of 6-0's name in the song. And I think it's brilliant how they were able to make the song an obvious callback while still giving it its own identity. Animal Instinct is another hard-hitting song which features Ceschi's brother David Ramos, Sheoshin, and Icon the Myke King. Everyone murders this song, especially Icon, whose flow was just ridiculous. But it was actually David Ramos's verse that got me the most. The way he compares people in jails to animals with the whole don't touch the inmate part at the end of his verse was just incredible. My Bad is a beautiful song where Ceschi teams up with Gregory Pepper, and I just love the way the song progresses as it goes. The slow drums, the piano, it's a beautiful orchestration. And I almost feel weird talking about the songs of the last half of this album separately because to me the songs feel inseparable. Like it comes across as a seamless sound collage, which is probably an oxymoron, but I just think the way the songs flow into each other, it works really well, especially where you have the abrasive sounds of Greatest Poem of 2019 to the poem over the cloudy backdrop on Better Man, Material Girl. Then the way it closes out with Capsize just seems oddly fitting for this album. But overall, I love this album as well. Even though I spent more time with Sad Fat Luck due to it coming out earlier, I actually think I enjoy Sans Soleil even more. I feel there's more intensity here and I feel like the experimentation on the album, it flows really well and it complements the overall theme of it. I can't think of another artist who can blend hip hop and electro pop and folk punk and these ambient noisy soundscapes together in a better way. So that's going to do it for this review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which album you liked more. Let me know which songs were your favorites. And how excited are you for the final album of this trilogy? Let's talk about it. But as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you. And I'll see you guys next time. All right? Peace out, boy.